Hi, my name is Trevor Yeltman, and this is my program completion summary. The three key course learnings from the program that I've learned is kids do well if they can. It's a phrase that allows educators a chance to approach challenging behavior. This has been a huge blessing to me. I used to think, what's wrong with you? It's obviously something that I grew up with, but I've learned a lot and I've made better relationships because of approaching students from that mindset. If students are calm, I learned about that. I think that's another thing about environment, staying calm, making sure my kids are calm so they're ready to learn. And then rest and self-care are so important. Huge key learning. It's actually the one that goes into my research question. The research question being proposed is in light of what is known about how children learn. How can educators promote resilience and recovery for those who've experienced traumatic events by practicing and being educated about self-care strategies? The rationale behind this is I know that teachers play a central role in a children's learning and development and obviously resiliency. And if we're not here, if we're not here, we're not being able to help that as much. So taking care of yourself to reduce burnout, keeping engaged is a critical thing. As it's stated down there, teachers' well-being as well as their ability to have the greatest impact on the children they serve. So taking care of yourself will help your children even more. Some huge key findings I found. I focused on mindfulness and self-care. Exercise in particular showed great improvements. This study here showed that mindfulness, specifically in an exercise state, effective lowered job-related stress, anxiety. People felt less burnt out. So exercise is a huge mindfulness self-care strategy that can help teachers stay engaged. And I put professional development, and because without Concordia St. Paul, I wouldn't have known about this as well. And so um, the results of a study made it clear that introducing educators to mindfulness, so actually having professional development on it, was helping educators. Self-efficacy is another self-care strategy, believing in your abilities. A study here with Lipscomb, these findings recognize that self-efficacy was crucial to teacher enthusiasm and continued commitment. Once again, I tied in professional development because without this course, I would not have known this. I've been teaching for 12 years, and so I feel like it's important that we educate educators on this. And the findings here from the study suggest that teachers who use more reflective functioning viewed themselves as more self-efficacious, which collectively prevented the gradual development of burnout. So great findings in my research. One of the things that got brought up, though, that was so cool for me was to realize, oh my goodness, there's so much evidence that self-care and mindfulness and self-efficacy support teacher engagement and lessen burnout. But now for me, this is where I am. Like, I'm learning that, but how do I make it part of who I am? So future research, it would be nice to see educators who are actually doing this and making it a part of their being, not just knowing it. So like for me, I understand it all. I've done some of it, but it's still so hard for me to make it part of who I am. And so that would be a future research question: is what is it looking like for those educators who are already doing these things, and how have they done that? Personally speaking, mindfulness, self-care in general, and then resilience and grit. I don't know how the worst 2 years of my life have been the last 2 years, and here I am. I don't know how I did it, but through self-care and mindfulness and just my own perseverance. So I've learned a lot about myself and taken a lot of great things away from this course. Professionally, I'm super excited. I'm approaching behavior a lot differently. Like I said earlier, with the skill deficit, teaching more students about the brain has been very helpful. And obviously, just remembering that everything I do is about relationships, right? So that's been very helpful. Um, as a professional educator, I want to continue to remind myself to take care of myself, but also, again, approach behavior from a skill deficit. Decision maker, I want to make all my decisions based for the relationship. So the things that I do in here and the challenges that I have, I want to grow in relationships with students to be there for them. As a reflective practitioner, I want to continue to remind myself, check in with myself. How am I doing? Am I doing okay? Do I need a day off? Do I need to go exercise? And then lastly, to continue in my motivation is to remember my why. And the golden circle there, that was a great lesson too that I loved. And so just being grounded in my why. And as an adaptive expert, because of all of this, I have been able to have more tools in my toolbox for when things get tough. Couldn't be more thankful for this course and everything that it's done for me. The program